Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time. Here we are, Thursday, the end of May, coming into June, right? By Monday, that'll be the official first workday week. What I want to say real fast is it's an exciting time for all of us here at Levinson, for all of you that are sitting here with us on this Thursday afternoon. And the reason why, number one, you're here to learn, right, to walk away with nuggets, to write down plenty of notes, to use that Q&A pane that's part of the go-to webinar section there. You can minimize or expand. We want to hear from you. We want to make sure you walk away with new strategies, right, to share your story when it comes to annuities. And if you're focused on life, you're going to see plenty of nuggets today where you feel comfortable enough to start talking about annuities with your life clients in your book of business. That's the name of the game. So what we did and what we're doing today is we literally handpicked one of the best speakers at the Levinson Expo 2024. We did a survey to our agents that attended, and we literally had, throughout the entire day, we had two speakers that came in most requested with the best comments and reviews, and that was Leon from Equitrust, and it was also Joe Ross. Actually, Mike Savage was a close third. He was our Tony Robbins keynote. So Leon's presentation was jaw-dropping. It was at the end of the day, right? Everybody's tired, but he got everyone up and running, asking questions, hanging around after the expo at almost 6 p.m. at night. So I said to myself, we got to have Leon back on our webinar, which is why you're hearing Leon and Levinson today. Okay, we're going to dive in to his presentation. He's got some great stuff to talk about, some great new stuff to talk about. And then, of course, June being Annuity Awareness Month, we have a lot in store for you marketing-wise, some great sales ideas, some great social media posts. So make sure you're ready to go. Note app is out, pen and paper, and let's rock and roll. Let's jump right in. Andrew, if we can go to slide 2. Okay, perfect. So, and I also think it's important, right? You're scratching your head and you're saying, hey, I've been with Levinson for a while. You're seeing a lot of our annuity marketing. What makes us different, right? We know Equitrust is great, one of the leaders in the annuity space, but why Levinson, right? There's a lot of competitors out there. So number one, we take all of your life and annuity premium points and we combine everything to help you qualify for our incentives and, of course, our expo trip where we fly you in round trip from anywhere in the country, and we pay for 1 to 2 nights at our beachfront location. So it's in your best interest to do as much as you can with Levinson and Associates. Very important. Number two, just think about this for a second. We have a team, which I'm going to share a slide in a second, an annuity marketing team that has over 62 years of combined annuity experience in a home office and outside in the brokerage IMO space. So it's important for you to know when you call in that you're getting the right information, the best products and carriers, and you can go present to your client, okay? So over 25 different carriers. We have literally almost 100 different sales and marketing platforms, posts, marketing pieces. We can co-brand for you, incentive. We have our own incentives. We have an annuity trip that we will literally fly you to Vegas for 4 nights, 5 days, and host you at the Aria Resort, which is the newest, hottest hotel in Vegas today, right on the Strip. Okay, so and that's completely complimentary, you and a guest, and our minimum qualification numbers are very reasonable, so we're going to show you in a few more minutes. Technology-wise, we have some awesome programs you can leverage, the scholarship program, Annuity Rate Watch, some great e-application platforms that you can leverage as well. So a lot of great stuff, and what I'm most excited about is if you're a pro and you're doing this for 32 and a half years, great, we have something for you. If you're a newbie, if you're a rookie, you've never sold an annuity before, we have something for you. And here's what I'm super excited about. So we built a training dashboard, right? We call it the Annuity 101 platform. And today it's 2 parts. So we're building the third part or category section, call it whatever you want, which we're launching in July. So we're going to have 3 sections and then an official Levinson Annuity Professional Certificate to literally add a designation to your business card, your signature, and that's 100% free. And if, like I said, if you're doing this forever, okay, you'll still learn something and walk away with nuggets from our training platform. And if you're brand new at this, same exact thing goes. You will literally become, let's say if you're life insurance, FEX Pro, by the time you're done with our 3-part series on the Annuity 101 platform, you will be comfortable enough to start talking and selling annuities as soon as you finish. I can promise you that. So we're super excited about that. If you have a downline, you can also offer this to your downline and incentivize them to come work with you in Levinson. Okay, so check out the playbook, and what we'll do is everything that we have here at Levinson is included in our playbook. It's almost like think of a dinner or lunch menu. We'll send that out to all participants today, so you'll have an email in your inbox before we leave tonight with all the brochures, the playbook, all the information that we're touching on today. Okay, so like I said, June 1st is Annuity Awareness Month, and we have an email that's going out to you. We even have a section on our website, and we dedicated 4 weeks, right? 4 weeks in June to focus on annuity training. We have a live podcast that we're recording in a couple weeks here in the office. We have Charles is going to be on board live. He's going to do a 60-second napkin annuity presentation that gets consumers the first time around saying, hey, either I want more info, or 2, I'm in. Okay, and here's a $100,000 check. So we have those 2 trainings going on live, and then every single week in June we have a live webinar training. So I am super, super excited about this. I know I said it a few times, but we never, since 1972, have dedicated an entire month around annuity sales and marketing, which is what we're doing this month in 24. So super excited. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, the next slide real fast. What I want to talk about is what's most important to every single one of us here at Levinson and Associates. We have 24 employees now in 4 states, and what moves the needle for us, right, is you, our customer. Okay, we don't sell on a retail level. We'll make that very clear. That's a conflict of interest. We are 100% wholesalers that work direct with carriers as an IMO. So you need to know there's not 20 hands in the pot taking a piece of your commissions or overrides, okay, or even renewals with some products. So what's most important, and I said it 2 seconds ago, is you, our agent, our customer. When we see testimonials, comments like this on our Facebook page, on our Google reviews page, this is what gets us excited. This is what makes us want to get to work every day at 9 a.m. and work till 8 to 9 p.m., okay, Eastern time, which is pretty typical on a work day here at Levinson. So real fast, bottom left corner, I absolutely love your trainings. They are outstanding. Thank you, Linda. Again, means the world to us. Top right, Saskia is very efficient, super friendly, and professional. She's an asset to Levinson and Associates. Mike W., that just came in about Saskia on our contracting team. So please keep sharing, okay? Keep jumping in. And even if something, like I said, we're not 100% perfect all the time, okay? I like to say we're 99%. And that 1% time, if there's an issue that comes up, okay, maybe you didn't get the answer you were hoping for, pick up the phone and call me or carrier. Shoot us an email and say, hey, call me when you get a chance, because we will do our best to turn it around and make it right. And that's our promise to you in writing, okay? Very important. And if everything is great, please jump in Facebook, Google reviews, share your experience. We'll send you a free IUL prospecting book. Let's keep moving. And real fast, what I also want to mention before we get to the next slide is hang on until the end of today's presentation. That'll be right before 3 p.m. Eastern time. We're giving away Apple AirPods and one of those prospecting books to whoever answers my webinar question of the day first and correctly. I'll announce your name at the end, and as long as you're an active Levinson agent, you are in, and you got to answer correct, and you got to pay attention, okay, to our presentation today, which I don't think will be very hard to, because Leon, like I said, he was the most requested speaker to come back for next year's expo, so great stuff to come. Let's keep moving forward. Everybody wants to learn about incentives. Everybody loves Vegas, cash, marketing dollars, leads, all the above. Remember, I was talking about earlier why Levinson, what makes us different? Why are we not another Me Too annuity IMO? Well, check out the left side. This is for all agent level active Levinson agents. Real fast, starting at bottom left corner, just $150,000 of FIA premium. That's nothing. Very obtainable, okay? Just starting at $150, that you qualify for the silver level. $250 in marketing allowance or an Apple Watch, you pick, okay? But again, most of our competitors, they say, hey, you got to write at least $1 million and you get a few free leads, whatever it is. No, not with Levinson, starting at just $150, all the way up to $1 million, okay? $1,000 in cash marketing allowance. Let's move over to the right-hand side. And these are Levinson programs, folks. It's important to know because the carriers have their own incentives. So everything we're talking about is above and beyond what the carriers are offering. So again, a win-win-win. The annuity trip on the right-hand side brings you to ARIA, you and a guest, and check out the 3 levels, bottom right corner. From $500,000 up to $1 million, you will win 5 days, 4 nights at the ARIA, and then a check for $500. You and a spouse, done. We take care of everything. Let's keep moving forward. By the way, I also suggest that you register, especially for the Vegas trip, as soon as possible, because that trip, the requirements do end in June. Last day of June, I believe, is the 30th. So make sure you register now, and all apps have to be in June. Okay, let's keep moving forward. What I want to talk about next, we just had Disability Awareness Month. And what we're doing here is we have the top white and blue collar carriers and products in the industry, bar none. We're saying, hey, write just one app. Your first app, you get $100 cash on top of the best comp plus renewals. We know how big renewals are in the DI space. And then 2 apps, we give you $100 cash plus free orphan leads. 3 apps, orphan leads, $100 cash, and Apple Watch, okay? Very easy, very obtainable. Let's keep moving forward. I spoke about our annuity team earlier. I'm very proud of this team, and the reason why, the experience level, the dedication, the enthusiasm, the passion that goes into building this annuity department to be the best in the industry. Okay, and I'll stand behind that 100% of the time. Between Ashley, RJ, Josh, home office experience, brokerage IMO experience. They've been there before in the comparison unit at 2 or 3 home offices, so it doesn't get any better. If you have a guy, you have a girl, maybe you've never even written an app before on the annuity side, pick up the phone, talk to anyone on our team, and we will help you from A to Z. We'll do everything except speak to your client. Okay, so just know that. The left-hand side is all of our direct annuity contracts. And what you're going to notice is, yes, we have a bunch of carriers and products, and there's no situation or time where your client is going to say to you, hey, Bill, I need a product with a certain income rider, and it has to perform at this interest rate, and this is what another agent showed me, and we're going to come back and say, well, we don't have anything close to this, I'm sorry. It's never going to happen. Okay, we don't have every single product in the country, but I can guarantee you we have something as good, if not better, but give us the opportunity. Pick up the phone and see what happens. That's all we can ask for. Give us the opportunity. We appreciate that. Let's keep moving forward. So what I want to do next is switch gears. And again, I'm super excited about this presentation because Leon impressed me so much at the Expo Live, and I know he's going to do the same here today on this webinar. So sit back, relax, plenty of notes, and just think about those nuggets at the end. Leon is here, our RVP from Equitrust Life Insurance Company. Leon?
Hey, how are we doing, Bill? I appreciate that. And before we get going, as always, I'll make sure that the tech is working. Can you guys see my slides? I hit share
Yep,
screen, so I just want to make sure we're good there. Good. Hey,
we are good to go.
yeah. Hey, first and foremost, appreciate the kind words, right? I take a lot of pride in, no matter if you're first, in the middle, right? Sometimes you get that before lunch slot or at the end of the day. The folks that are in the room deserve your best effort. I appreciate the recognition that your folks, saw that, and I'm going to try to do the same thing today. When I spend time with a lot of groups, and I try to see. I really look for 3 or 4 boxes to be checked. I kind of put myself, in the shoes of the audience and go, hey, do they bring energy and passion? Do they bring ideas? And sometimes those ideas honestly come in the form of their carrier partners and us bringing something to the table and really helping out with that if we can. And then resources. And if they have those things, right, I think that leads. It's really hard not to have success with a partner like that. And you guys absolutely do that. And my interactions are always, full of energy. I love to hear the ideas you guys have and what's your resources and the resources and ideas you bring to your folks. So, really, really fun group. I'm really glad to be here, and we're going to try to bring the thunder again today. Okay. So, hey,
We
look.
appreciate that, Leon.
Hey, absolutely. And look, so today we're going to talk. I'm going to focus in 2 main areas, and that's we're going to talk about Bridge, our long-term care, our asset-based long-term care product. We're going to get into, in March, we had some really exciting income rider upgrades that are really built around an already powerful product. We just never got to the product because in some of the benefits and the features, because our payoff structure wasn't competitive enough. Well, that is no longer the case. Our income products are right now have surpassed some of our other accumulation focused products as our #1 sellers, especially over the last month or so. So we're going to get into those. I'm a baseball guy, so I'll talk in terms of some baseball analogies. So hopefully that's okay. But I like to talk about our products in terms of solutions or tools. And if you know baseball, a lot of times they'll talk about baseball players having a 3-tool, 4-tool, or a 5-tool player, meaning they can do it all. And I think that we've got several 5-tool or 6-tool players in the form of our products, and I'm going to talk about those as well. But before we get into that, hey, you may or may not have ever worked with or written an Equitrust product. So I like to talk a little bit about, hey, why do business with us? We many carriers, we all have our own different value proposition. We do things a little bit differently, and I think ours is unique, and it's one that I'm proud to talk about. We really start with a product simplicity approach. I am a firm believer that if you don't understand something, you will not so if I'm giving a presentation like this and I don't really know the material, boy, I'm not really good at it. It probably sounds a little robotic, but boy, if I own it, I know it, I believe in it, I feel like that's one of my best, and that's sales in my opinion. So we really try to position our partners in a place where, hey, you can understand our product and then relay that to the client, because if the client understands it and they're confident in it, what will they do, right? They'll buy it. And that's really what we're trying to do. And then from a competitiveness position, I don't know that Equitrust has ever been in a holistically more competitive space than we are right now, whether it's fixed, indexed, income space, our long-term care product, which is an absolute industry outlier that we're going to talk about today. You name it, we're competitive, okay? And that's a really fun place to be, especially in my position, but heck, it's fun for all of us, right? Because you've got solutions to offer your clients. We're unique in how transparent we are. And this shows up in a few different areas, one of which is in our renewal rate history. So you can go on our website and you can pull our renewal rate history, okay, for any product since inception, okay? Why is that important? Well, we sell a lot of trust me products, right? Products that have annually renewable rates, and look, I think in large part, our industry is honorable. I really do. But look, we all know that sometimes we get a rate one year and 2 years later, you're like, hey, what? It feels a little bait and switchy, right? And we do not do business like that. We don't price it for a special. We price it right and hope to maintain integrity with that rate. You can go look at our rates over history. And if you're talking to a client, well, that's a powerful thing to show them, right? Hey, I'm not just asking you to trust me. I'm showing you what this carrier has done, with this product or other products over a period of time. I think that's big. The term that's used a lot is integrity. I think integrity and transparency are synonymous. I really do. So I think that's a great part of our story to tell. Sales concepts. So I use the term ideas, right? Resources. When you're talking with a group and, hey, who do I want to partner with? And I think that if you can partner, if you can pair a product that's simple, right, but accomplishes what it needs to accomplish, along with some concept that's relevant in today's marketplace, you got a winner. Okay, what I mean by that, right? So as we've got all these trillions of dollars changing hands, and the number changes every day. 14, 15, 16,000 baby boomers turning 65 every day. You guys know the numbers, okay? We're talking about inherited IRAs. You think that's going to be a big issue here as we go over the next 10, 15 years? You're absolutely right. As we have the most friendly inherited IRA program in the business. And I say that with great confidence. Our partial tax conversion program, Roth conversions, we've got an incredibly advisor and client-friendly program. That concept is a huge topic that comes up when I'm in a booth at an event and I put that flyer out there. Man, that's the one that goes and people talk to me about the most. It's not a space we're all overly comfortable in, right? So when I have those conversations, they're impactful, they're powerful, and it gives someone a subject matter, right, to talk with a client about. And I think it then sets the agent or advisor apart. Okay, and bear with me, gang. I mentioned this to Andrew before we jumped on it. My voice probably sounds a little scratchy. I feel 100%, but I've been fighting off a chest and throat deal. I'm fine, I'm healthy, but I'm coming through the end of it here. So if I stop and take a drink, I apologize. So just bear with me. Thank you. All right, so you probably never had a carrier come on and go, hey, customer service, we try hard, right? We do our best. No, we all say, hey, it's important. We think we've got a high level of customer service. I can tell you, when I was going through my recruiting and interview process with Equitrust, and I went home and said to my wife, I really thought this was a sales facing, production facing role. But it might be a customer service role, because that is all these people talked about, right? And and now that I've been here and understand the culture, those two things go hand in hand here, sales and service. And we really, it's that transparency piece I talked about. You can go look at our agent website, and we'll post our new business processing times. Typically every Monday, it'll tell you, hey, business, new business in good order. It's going to take, I think right now it's 5 to 8 business days in good order. So we tell you what the answers to the test are, and we want to hold ourselves to that standard. A little pro tip: we're typically a little conservative with that. So if it says 5 to 8, we're usually doing it a little faster than that. But we like to under promise, over deliver, right, as you guys have heard before. And then the commitment. So we're growing like everybody right now. I really think most companies are in a growth state of mind, and that can be dangerous, really, long term, if you're not building the internal infrastructure capacity to maintain that. And we absolutely are. This slide is out of date. Okay, the 42% increase in new business processing staff. I was in a meeting yesterday. That's north of 50% growth in that space. Why is that important, right? Well, you can't maintain the standard of service if you're growing the business, but you're not growing the capacity to handle it. And we are absolutely putting our money where our mouth is when it comes to that. Some other things, that I don't even have on here that I love to talk about. We're an incredibly financially strong company. We've got a B++ rating with AM Best right now. We're under review, currently awaiting the decision on our rating. We're upgraded to A- with Fitch. If you compared our financial strength with many A-rated companies, A-, A-rated companies, we are far superior from a financial strength position. I'm absolutely comfortable talking about that with people. But I also know, hey, that's something that's a confidence factor with clients. So, hey, we have some resources and things that we can provide to help you have that conversation as well. We're incredibly proud of what we're doing right now, and the position we're in to be a safe bet, right, for you and your clients. All right, so let's jump into our asset-based long-term care conversation bridge. You may or may not be office fans, but I actually lived in the town that this was based out of, Scranton, Pennsylvania. So I have a little soft spot in my heart for the show. But nothing can destroy a retirement plan faster than a long-term care event. If you guys know who Tom Hegna is, he was talking about our product and said, hey, look, long-term care is a potential $1 million bomb dropped into a retirement plan, right? You can have done everything right from a retirement planning perspective, have an unplanned for long-term care event and blow it up, right? And well, that's a scary proposition, especially when you consider 7 out of 10 of us are going to have a long-term care event, right? So you got this huge issue, okay? And boy, if that happens to us, how do we handle it? How are we prepared for it? Let's kind of set the stage here. I've already done this a little bit. I'm gonna talk about the problem. We'll get into the product, and I'll give you some ideas. Okay. This slide should be titled "The Problem," not the reality. All right. Look, we've got this vast issue and a small current pool of solutions, right? So 90% of current long-term care, traditional long-term care carriers are no longer issuing new policies. Holy cow, right? 7 out of 10 of us are going to have a problem. 90% of the traditional space are out of the market, okay? And then those that are in it, they're declining 50% or more of new applications that come in, so it's incredibly hard to qualify for. 66% of folks say the healthcare / long-term care costs are a primary worry, and I think that number's low. I really do. I don't know anybody that you talk to about retirement planning. They talk about 2 things: their money, right? Do I have enough? Is it going to last long enough? Is it going to provide the type of lifestyle that I want, right? That's number 1, my money. And then 2 is healthcare. And more, the long-term care issue is becoming a conversation piece. And advisors that have solutions are going to win clients, win business, okay? 70% of long-term care costs are absorbed by the families. I spend more time talking about the caregiver strain than most of my colleagues because I've gone through it. And when I'm in person, Bill can attest to this, I ask people in the building, raise your hand if you ever had to go through it. And I'm telling you right now, 90% of the people raise their hand, right? So that's when I know I've got an audience that gets it, okay? 88% of adults between 50 and 80 years of age want to age in place, right? To me, that's about dignity, right? Security, comfort. I want to age where I'm comfortable. I want to have some control over that, right? Bridge. Wait until I talk to you about some of the attributes of our product and how it allows people to do that. It's a beautiful thing. Again, the right-hand side of this slide, it's out of date, right? It really is. $3,750 average annual cost. That's low. Okay. The average cost for skilled nursing, let's call it $7,900 for a semi-private, nursing home room. What do we think that's going to look like in 10 years? Double. I mean, you guys know the inflationary pressures that are in place and that are currently, putting pressure in the healthcare environment. I use double, right? Because we use a 10-year claim scenario typically. So you talk about how does Tom Hegna get to $1 million, right? It potentially is a long-term care need. Well, and really depending on where you live in the country too. I mean, this could be incredibly conservative, but if you say 15,000, on average in 10 years, right? If we kind of apply some inflationary math, right? The average long-term care claim, right, is 24 months. Call it, so in a hurry we get to $500,000, right, on average. So the math, I just don't like the math, gang. I really don't. 7 out of 10 of us are going to have it. 90% of the traditional space isn't taking new contracts, right? Everyone's telling us that they have a problem. They're worried about it, right? Boy, so we got this vast problem, this small area to solve it. Again, you'll hear me use the term, we're threading a needle today. So again, the differentiating comment, if I'm an advisor with a solution, I am going to win business, okay? And that's who I'm talking to right now, folks on this call, okay? And then one thing I'll talk about too, you'll hear me talk in terms of have your cake and eat it too product, right? So there's almost no, if any, there's almost never residual value in a traditional long-term care product. So, think about that. Put all this money right up here up top into it. Someone goes on claim, they go on claim for a couple of months, they pass away, and boom, our money is essentially flushed, right? Let's talk about how we can avoid that, and we can actually have an asset that's growing, right? And whether we use it or not, I still have this asset. Have your cake and eat it too. We all like that. When you realize long-term care solutions can be just as much about the family, that should say more, and friends as it is about the client. I think it's more. For me personally, when I turn 55, I will buy this product because and for my family, not for myself. Although it will be for me because I believe preserving my dignity is a big deal, okay? Time, financial, emotional, social, and physical strains. Guys, these are real, okay? If you've gone through this, this is where I love to be in front of people and be in person, right? You know it. I get people nodding their head. They remember helping mom to the bathroom, helping dad into a van to get to the doctor, right? You know, the time, 69% of family and friend caregivers report having to rearrange their schedules. I always put yourself in this position. We all have different lives. We're all busy, right? I've got a wife that works full time. I've got 12 and 8-year-old boys. And this weekend, we have 8 baseball games between the two of them. Okay, now drop another human being that needs full-time care in the middle of that. How do you do it? You get something goes away. The money, right? On average, right? Family caregivers spend 26% of their income. We know, you guys know the math in America. We have the statistics on Americans that have less than $1,000 in savings is staggering. Do you think that most Americans can carve 26% of their income out for care? No, something goes away. Their personal retirement savings, family vacations, you name it. It's ugly, right? But we're going to do it because we love these folks. It's our mom, it's our dad, right? So, you know, these are real issues, but we're going to solve them. We're going to find a way. You know, why not plan for it? Take control of it now as opposed to letting it take control of you later, okay? The emotional, social, and physical, these are all real, guys. I mean, it's hard dealing with this kind of stuff. I've dealt with my own mother personally. We're currently dealing with it to some degree with my wife's mother, my mother-in-law, who, by the way, lives in Pennsylvania. We live in Iowa. You know, once a quarter, my wife goes home, helps her with something. You know, it's a strain, right? But you're going to do it because it's family, okay? The social and the physical aspect, I always kind of joke that you can't see me, but I'm a bigger guy. And, you know, my wife is, you know, I probably got, you know, a good 150 pounds on her. And I always say, how's she going to get me, you know, to the bathroom, right? I mean, it's just not happening, you know, so the physical strains are real, you know, it's just logic, okay? So the caregiver strain, this is how I'd sell it, right? You don't have to get into product, in my opinion. You get somebody to a point where they feel what I'm talking about right now, they're just going to go, how do I fix it? And then you know, you fill out an application for Bridge, right? All right, so what makes Bridge different? Okay, so I touched on this a little bit. Okay, so first of all, long-term care coverage. How can I get it? It's hard to get. It's expensive. You know, I can't qualify, like all the parade of horribles, right, that are in the long-term care space today. But man, you know, okay, if I find a product, well, I really like the ability to grow the asset that I'm putting into this, the money. What happens to the money I put into this if I don't use it or don't use it all, Leon? You know, boy, it'd be nice to have both. And then wellness. How do we bring it all together? Provide a wellness program. I won't spend as much time today on the wellness program because I believe it's more of a post-sale conversation. But this is the linchpin to making Bridge extremely profitable for the client. Profitable meaning it works, the number that grows. You really maximize the leverage of their asset. I'm going to show you that in picture form here in a minute. I will touch on what the wellness program is, how it operates, some of the numbers behind it. All right, so why we're different. If you're like me, you're either taking a screenshot or I take copious notes when I'm doing things, but I don't take a note on every word the person says. So I love when someone says, hey, I'm going to highlight a couple of things you need. If you're going to take something away, take this away. So I'm going to call those out when I do this. Okay, so first and foremost, this thing's built on an FIA chassis. So if you know what a fixed indexed annuity is, not an overly complex concept. You know, think of it with a fixed indexed annuity with an income rider. Oddly enough, we're going to talk about those and what our offerings there are here in a little bit. On the left-hand side, you have the accumulation bucket. On the other side, right, we got the income bucket. In this case, you pull that income bucket out and you're going to replace it with the long-term care rider. Works very similarly to that, okay? So not an overly complex structure. Flexible premium product, so you can put dollars into this in year one and take advantage of the coverage leverage that I'll show you, but you can also add money down the road. Why is that important? Because these claims, when we have an eligible claim, they're paid tax-free. So every dollar that goes into this, even if it's dollar for dollar, is coming out in a tax-advantaged position, right? Okay, this is the first, in my opinion, the #1 star, right? Highlight, whatever, circle, however you want to do it to remember it. Simplified underwriting with guaranteed approval. And I do a dramatic pause there for a reason, right? Because a lot of times if I'm in person, I get people go, yeah, but what about this, right? There is no yeah, but. You can have somebody that's in a home today, currently, and they will gain approval for this product under our secure underwriting class, okay? I'll show you the underwriting classes here in a little bit. Simplified underwriting. I know sometimes that probably sounds like an oxymoron. It's not. We've revolutionized the underwriting process for long-term care. I'm going to talk to you about that as well. So to me, that's the first bang bullet. Wellness program. I just touched on that. #2 bullet that I'd highlight, circle, right? Put a star next to. Indemnity claims process. We have a claim, right? It's 2 of 6 ADLs or severe permanent cognitive impairment. We've got a qualified claim. We take the benefit base, we divide it by 60 because we pay out over 5 years, and we pay that monthly to the client for up to 60 months. Okay, simple as that. They decide it. They take control of care. There's no reimbursement, no pre-approval, no jumping through hoops, no receipts, none of those things. So this to me is control of care, putting back in the hands of the client, in my opinion. Okay. If you've ever been on the reimbursement side, where you've got to get pre-approvals, man, it can be tough, right? We've got some competitive products out there, and they offer, and I never get on and talk, I never name names, but we've got folks that have concierge programs, right? And I always think, if it's simple, right, and they understand and they have control of it, why do we need a concierge program, right? Well, you need that because it's complex, it's hard, right? So, I think this simplifies it. And then the next one, I'd also star and highlight this completely digital process, right? From application to underwriting. When people get good at this, they can go soup to nuts. You get someone that knows they have a need, you can go application to underwriting to submitting a piece of business in 90 minutes. That's with underwriting decision. So I don't care what line of business you're in, that's different. All right. I mean, I've spent some time in the property casualty space. Sometimes it take a month to get a piece of business approved. The life insurance space, right? I mean, I know we've gotten better in that world these days with some express issue opportunities, but largely fully underwritten policies, you're not getting them back, and nearly instantly, right? Especially on products that have a high leverage, risk like this. So those are really what make this product different. Okay, if you're like me, how does it work, Leon? Show me pictures. That's kind of how I am. So David, we got a 65-year-old single retiree. He's got 3 grown children. He's got 3 objectives. Guys, I think we all have the same objectives, right? Living independently for as long as possible. He wants to preserve his assets, right, for his heirs, and he wants to avoid being a burden to his children as he ages, right? And you put those in any order. For me, I think #3 is #1 for me, but I think, that's a personal thing for folks, but I think we all have those same 3. Okay, so he has a $100,000 of initial premium. Remember, this is an asset-based product, and you're already probably thinking of, hey, some questions, right? Where's this money coming from? How do we fund it? I'll get to that. Right now, all I want you to focus on is the mechanics of how the math works, okay? So he's giving us $100,000 in premium, okay? He's preferred underwriting class. Okay. As of last Tuesday, Wednesday, I was at a meeting with a bunch of our marketing organization leaders and our home office folks. And that number today, 70% of our folks that go through underwriting get preferred. So this is not a unicorn. Okay. This guy is not, one of 100. He's 70 out of 100 that go through underwriting get preferred underwriting class. Now hear what I said. Okay. Those that go through underwriting, because we do have scenarios where folks don't even have to go through underwriting because they go automatically into our guaranteed approval or secure underwriting class because of their current situation. Okay. But those that go through underwriting, 70% are currently getting preferred. That's a great number. So 65-year-old preferred underwriting class, 315% coverage ratio. What's that mean, Leon? It means his 100 grand times the 315% turns into $315,000 of initial benefit base. So I want you to think strategically with me here, okay? This guy has, we're going to show you in 10 years, he's going to have a claim, right? So he's spending that 100 grand anyway, isn't he? I mean, that 100,000 is getting spent, okay? Why not leverage it with a resource, with a solution like this? You know, when you get people, well, I'm going to self-fund it, or, you know, you get a lot of people that try to outsmart the system. The math is in your favor if you can get somebody to understand this, right? So what happens with David in 10 years? 10 years, hypothetically, we fast forward 10 years, he's after a decade of healthy living and participating in the Never Stop Wellness program, David develops an illness, right? It's tough, but hey, he's done the planning, okay? So his new base, right? So remember, he was initially, his initial base was 315,000. His new base 10 years later is 384,000, just shy of that, because he took advantage of 10 years of our guaranteed 2% roll up. So if you understand how the income rider side works as typically an annual roll up, okay? This is a 2% annual roll up for up to 20 years. He took advantage of it for 10 before claim. He got 27,000 and change in wellness credits. So not only is the wellness program beneficial to hopefully delay and or eliminate claim, there's a financial benefit to it, right? So his new total, $411,205. Divide that by 60, as I had mentioned, on the indemnity claims basis, he's got $6,853 monthly coming tax-free to pay or help pay for his long-term care needs. That's what his 100 grand did for him. So pretty powerful. All right, so let's do that. Look at that in a different way. Here's his initial premium. Okay, he gives us that. That's his 315. This is where I get into. Sometimes the people are like, "This is too good to be true," right? Well, there is a vesting schedule, and that's a 4-year vesting schedule. So it's still an awesome value prop, right? So here's how it works. The vesting schedule is 20, 40, 60, 80, 20% the first year, 40% the second year, 60 the third, 80 the fourth. So after 4 years and 1 day, they're 100% vested. Again, that's where that wellness program is awesome. If you got somebody that isn't already in a home, boy, if we can get them on the wellness program, participating in healthy living, get them at least to extend the need for claim outside of that window, this thing sings, right? It really does. Even if that's not the case, okay? Leon, what if somebody goes on claim day 1? Okay, so how does that work? Well, they've given us their 100. We look at what's called net amount at risk, okay? And that's the difference between the initial premium and the 315,000. So in this case, the net amount at risk from an actuarial perspective is 215,000. They're immediately vested in 20% of that number. So you can do the math between 215 and 20%, right? 40 some odd $1,000. So this person, even if they go on claim day 1, they get 140 in change in leverage of their dollars that will be paid out tax free. How much do they have today? 100, right? So it's the best worst case scenario in history. They're still better off, okay? So, that's why I tell people all the time, don't overthink this deal. If you've got somebody that's secure, that's they've got some issues right now that put them into the secure issue, underwriting class, it's okay. It's okay. This is still a great value prop, great story to tell, right? Here's where we start to get into the have your cake and eat it too. With current rates and assumptions, this thing in this same time period would have grown on the accumulation side to $184,862. Have your cake and eat it too, okay? Because Leon, what if he never uses it? Great, we've got an asset growing. Great. There's his 2% compounded roll up for up to 20 years. In this case, it was 10 years. And then his wellness credit. So that's how we got to the math, okay? So, really fun story to tell people. I think it's pretty simple, once people understand the concept. So You go back to that, so again, right on the left, remember I said left and right. On the left is kind of your FIA, right, the fixed index annuity side, and on the right, it kind of acts like an income rider, but this is how the long-term care piece works as well. Okay. Some product details. Right now, issue age is 55 to 80. Minimum premium is 50,000. Currently, it's non-qualified only. Good news is, and this is part of the meeting I was in last week, we're already investigating and looking at, and really, honestly, because of the way we've developed our inherited and tax conversion strategies, we think we're going to be pretty quickly rolling out a qualified option. Ultimately, all that comes down to is how do you got to handle the taxes one way or the other, right? You got to deal with those. So this product currently is non-qualified dollars only. Flexible premium, which I mentioned, some very standard FIA features: a 10-year surrender, 10% free withdrawals after year one. So you do have some flexibility there. We've got 5 quality indexed options plus the fixed account. If this was a standalone FIA, it performed just fine, right? You've got nice rates right now, nice caps. So this, again, to have your cake and eat it too. So we've got some products in the market that are trying to mirror what we're doing. Where they fall short is here. Very, very small returns. It's still kind of a dead asset. So this is where we stand out. You can kind of copy, I think, to some degree, the long-term care side. Hard to copy, the FIA side the way we've done it. How do you learn it? I'm not going to spend a ton of time on this, gang, because I want to save some time to get into the IBR deal or the income side that we've rolled out. This is how I learned the product. This and just educating myself on the long-term care issue, because I'd gone through it personally, and this really, again, struck a chord with me. But any piece of approved marketing material you need, it's on here. You can download it. The calculator is absolute sales tool. I do another webinar, and sometimes I do these individually where I'll just get on the phone with a small group of agents, and or a group, and go through the website, the microsite, and kind of show you, hey, here's where to find things, here's what to do, here's how I'd use it, kind of pro tip it. I think it's an absolute world-class resource. The illustration software is right there. Obviously, applications, underwriting. We've got really nice videos. You get a client that, hey, I want to send you something. You copy and paste the link to the video. What is Bridge? About 2-minute video. A prepare the patient video, right? To get them to understand, hey, what's the underwriting, look like? So a great resource. So let's talk underwriting. So this is a differentiator. It's different, so sometimes I think it scares people a little bit. It shouldn't. Look, here are some of the key factors, right? I think it's the state of the art for sure. That's how we describe it. It's simple. You get a quick decision, typically within 10 minutes of the client completing the interview. The agent gets a notification of the underwriting decision. And remember, 70% of folks that go through the underwriting are getting preferred. So this is not some situation where we've created it, just another problem. But the 3 levels of underwriting are preferred, standard, and secure. Secure is the guaranteed approval class. Long-term care benefits are 100% guaranteed approval. There's no medical, no prescription, drug check, no blood draws, no doctor's notes, or no doctor's records, just 5 application questions, right? And ultimately, the first 3 are the ones that can be the eliminator, or meaning that, but eliminator is terrible verbiage. The ones that say, hey, you may just go right to secure underwriting class, right? Are you currently in a facility, right? So if you answer yes to that, you go automatically to secure underwriting class. Or do you require the use of a mobility device, a wheelchair, a scooter, something like that? Or do you currently require assistance for any of the 6 ADLs? If you answer yes to any one of those, it's okay. You're still approved. We can put you right into secure issue. How cool is that? They don't even have to go through underwriting, right? So there's no underwriting. If they answer no to all 3 of those, then there's a general health question. Have you been on Social Security disability in the last 5 years question? You answer those. Depending on the answer to those, that's how you can answer yes to, so it'll go through, hey, in the last 5 years, have you had a series of these ailments. A lot of it is cancer and some kidney and liver issues. You can answer yes to those, and depending on the time frame, the severity of that, still get standard. All right, that's why they're not eliminators. If it's outside of a certain time frame, still get preferred. So the vast majority of the folks that get to that point, right, 7 out of 10 are still getting preferred. So it's a slick process. It's like the first time you did an EAP, right? We were all scared of EAP the first time we did it. I know I was, right? I liked paper. Well, the first time I did it, I was like, holy smokes, what am I doing here? I need to use an EAP. The first time you go through this and then understand how simple and easy it is, how to properly set it up and control the environment, you'll love it. You'll love it. So some things here, I've already touched on most of this. The maximum 1 year or a year one long-term care coverage is $1 million. It can grow outside of that, it can grow larger than that, but meaning like, so if David wanted to give us $500,000 and he got 315%, we can't do that because he can only go up to $1 million year one. So we'd either adjust the coverage ratio to make that math work, or take less, or he'd require less premium to get to the $1 million, right? All right, charges and fees. So there's a 1% premium load up front, the $100 a year for the Never Stop Wellness Program. That can be removed after year one. I don't know why anybody would. You saw it added 27 grand to the benefit base for David. I'm not sure why we would remove $100 cost for something that could do that. The long-term care rider is based on net amount at risk, which I talked about earlier. And let's get into what that looks like. So comparatively, right, why does this matter? Well, currently One America, they've got a similar product, right? Average cost of rider 2.44. 4Care's 157. Well, let's bridge, Leon. I mean, this thing's got to be super expensive. On average, 51 basis points. Why is that important? Well, we had talked about have your cake and eat it too. The only correlation between the accumulation side and the benefit side is the fact that the charge, right? What impact does that have, right? Here's the 244, just another way to look at it. Well, I want that charge to be as low as possible, because what's my return on my accumulation side? So you can see the impact on average return, one a little north of 1%. Not bad, honestly, on the 4Care, and then ours sings at 6.34 average return. That's huge. That goes back to having your cake and eating it too, right? This is not a dead asset. With this is, I almost think, a funny slide, because we're the only ones that have the guaranteed or secure issue, true guaranteed approval right now. And I always get, Leon, I feel bad about bringing you all my worst clients, right? The secure issue. Well, why? Because the average cost for those is less, because remember, it's based on net amount at risk, right? So the net amount of risk is based on the premium and the coverage ratio. Their coverage ratio is going to be lower, so the actual fee to the client is lower, right? So don't feel bad. We'll take all those. Underwriting class. Here's what the snippet of that, right? So a 55-year-old, it preferred gets up to 325% down to a 75-year-old. We can provide, and Bill, I'll send this stuff out, some resources you can forward on. This is all on the microsite, but I'll send the full grid so you guys can see it. Wellness program, I'd mentioned this. I'm not going to spend a ton of time here. Ultimately, guys, you're going to get assigned. They're going to get assigned a coach. They're going to give them some things. Hey, get your hearing checked. A Fitbit, right? We want to know that you're healthy. Are you taking yoga? You're going to go through those things, hit those benchmarks. And every 2 years, you're going to get a score applied that will then give you an applied benefit to your benefit base. Sales ideas. We're getting our biggest sales right now to 1035 exchanges, old annuity contracts and life contracts. And that's especially the life side, where you got somebody that they've already solved the problem earlier in life. They knew they needed life insurance, they had kids, but they really liked the idea of a permanent policy. That thing's got some cash value in it. They cash that out. They got a benefit or the cost basis, but they got to pay taxes on any growth, right? Well, move this over into a bridge contract, and when those come out in the form of claims, we pay no tax on it, right? So it's a great concept to beat the tax man, and then any other liquid money that they may have. Annual reviews, you're already doing these. It's just a matter of changing the emphasis, guys, and asking them, have you ever looked into long-term care? That's how I would start. Have you ever looked into long-term care? I bet you're going to get a good portion of folks who go, yes, but we got declined. holy cow, I've got an absolute beautiful option for you. I mean, what a great conversation solution, and just sales pivot to have, with folks. So, it's just about changing the verbiage that you're using a little bit. Okay. I've already talked about this, guys. It comes down to this to me. Okay. And we've covered a lot in a pretty brief amount of time. I could talk bridge for 2 hours. You got to tell a story. I talk about 7 out of 10. I talk about 2 things. Okay. You heard me mention dignity. It comes down to 2 things: memories, and dignity. If I were here with you in person, I always show a picture of my kids and my wife and I. We're on a baseball field. My son's holding up what looks to be a baseball. It's actually a cupcake. People are like, is that his first home run ball? I'm like, no, it's a cupcake. They did win that tournament, but he was more excited about the cupcake. But I want them, those are the things I want them to remember. Dad, the coach, right? Dad out back throwing BP. Dad, them beating me for the first time in ping pong. Albeit I played left-handed, but and I didn't tell them that until after it was over, but and how mad they were, right? So just, the things like that, that's how I want them to remember me, not dragging my big behind to the bathroom or doctor's appointments and all that. And then the other thing is the dignity. I want to preserve my own dignity. I don't want that. Okay. And that's the story you tell. None of this other stuff matters until people get that. Once they understand and get that, right, along with the caregiver strain, they will buy the product, right? Because the product solves the problem. Okay. So that's how I would frame this conversation. I'd make it more about this than I would the product until they nod their head and go, I get it. Right. So look, that's the end of the bridge deal. Bill, I'm going to pause there for a second before I get into the income rider side. And I know we're getting up on, I got my timer at about 40 minutes. I got about 5 minutes left here. I'll get through this part pretty quick. There's not much material to that, but I'd like to pause at bridge and see if there are any questions before I, kind of not to muddy the waters, unless you want me to wait till the end.
Yeah, Leon, what we're doing actually, if you can keep moving along, just because our time limit, and then we're getting questions as we go. So we'll circle back after with you for anything that we need you for.
Yeah, you got it. And then if we end up, hey, we got to let everybody go, and you want to send me some questions, I can get those answered however you want to handle it.
No problem. Perfect.
All right. Okay, great. Hey, let's get into the income rider side, guys. So we had always been more of an accumulation focused carrier. And quite frankly, it's a little frustrating for my perch of the tree, because I want to talk about having solutions for everything. So we're going to talk a little bit about our income product, and I'm going to kind of high step through some of this stuff because I know we're up against time. Just to understand this. When you look at our income rider products, right, the market power bonus product, right, that's got a beautiful income rider, the market power, the market 10 bonus, right, super flexible. These are the products I was talking about. They're the 5-tool player. They've got a bonus product, or got a bonus attached to it, really nice rates, so they can solve that accumulation side. The market 10 is a flexible premium product, so it's flexible as well, okay, and a super competitive income rider, right, that you can attach to that depending on what you're looking for, early, middle, late income, that looks really good. I'm going to show you the heat map here in a minute on those. Our roll-up designs, right, are the benefit base equal to all premiums and bonuses, right? So you get credit for the bonuses, less withdrawals, compounded at the rate of, depending on the product, 7 or 10 years. Our market 7's our hottest product right now because of the early income and a 25% benefit base bonus. That's for the last 2 weeks has been our hottest product. Here's the kind of a screenshot or visual of where we're at. These top 3 have been upgraded. We've got a premium bonus currently on the market power and market 10, 8% roll up on both those products. Strong accumulation in later years on both of those. Market 7, no bonus on the accumulation side, but there is on the benefit base, 25% benefit bonus or benefit base bonus for 7 years. That's a cool product because it's still a relatively short contract, but you can get incredibly competitive early income out of that product. Here's the heat map I was talking about. I'm going to show you one of these, and I'm just going to flip through. We've got several of these. We don't need to see them all. But you can see this is a great tool for an advisor, right? Hey, Mr. Client, what are you looking for? Hey, I need income early. Okay, well, highest payout, market 7, boom. Give me $100 grand, right, at age 60. Okay, we got early income. You can see what that looks like, from a early income perspective. This is, I've had multiple partners that tell us, hey, this is the #1 product we're talking about right now when it comes to early income. That's really cool. But you can see, you can pick your sweet spot based on what the client wants. Here's a 65, here's a 70. You don't need to see all that. Here's what we look like against the industry. Equitrust on the market 7, we're the highest on the early income payout with market 7. Competitor A, we don't really get into calling people out, but very similar product. Look at this, Equitrust is in 3 of the top 4, okay, in year 1, from a year 1 perspective. Year 5, we even look better, okay. Market 7 is way up there, the market 10 bumps up. So you can see we've got incredibly a competitive payout. Here's the cool thing, and I'm going to touch on these quickly. Spousal continuation. We're unique here, right? The income payment. So we have the initial income recipient that passes away, right? Our spousal continuation. We recalculate the payout based on the beneficiary's age. We recalculate that and we pay lifetime income even if the accumulation value depletes to 0. Most carriers will pay out until it's depleted and then payments stop. That's a huge safety net when you can say no matter what, your spouse is going to have lifetime income. Chronic illness doubler. It's very similar concept here, right? Okay, no confinement not required. 2 of 6 ADLs, okay, or permanent cognitive impairment. Again, no confinement required. This continues to the increased payments that double up to 5 years, even if the accumulation value is depleted. That is really, really cool and a great conversation to have, except in New York, unfortunately. Fee structure. We factor our fees, okay, based on the accumulation value, not on the benefit base. Look at the difference, okay? So you can talk about a better product with higher payouts and lower fees. I don't know. That's not a hard conversation to have, right? So I think that's a huge differentiator. Okay, resources, our website, all the things that your partners at Levinson will be able to help you with, when you have questions. But I know I covered that quickly, gang. But our income side right now is I spent a ton of time talking about bridge when I'm at events, and right now it's all our income side, and it's an awesome conversation to have. And you can say, hey, it's a great income product, but boy, it's growing on the accumulation side competitively as well. Again, a 5-tool player. It can solve any problem that your client may have. So exciting time to be at Equitrust. I really appreciate, I can see like the audience and how they hang in there. So I do appreciate you guys. You're all busy. I respect the heck out of what you do. It's an incredibly honorable profession. And I love to be able to bring resources and ideas and work with partners, like we are here today. So with that, Bill, I'm going to turn it over to you. If there's some questions we can knock out now, great. If not, I understand, if we got to get the show rolling.
Thank you so much, Leon. Great job, as always. What we're going to do, any questions we can't answer, we'll have our marketing team circle back with you and patch you in. So we'll get everyone squared away. I got about 5 minutes left, and then we'll put a bow on this. But thank you again. As always, just phenomenal. So real fast, what I want to do is to get started, right? You're rocking and rolling. You got some great ideas, strategies, nuggets. You want to get appointed. Okay, so everything is on our website. Okay, so you can either, as soon as we hang up, just go to the link, follow the yellow arrow that you're looking at in front of you, or just speak to any one of our marketers. We'll get you up and running with Equitrust or any other annuity carrier or life carrier for that matter. What I want to do now is just think about this. Let's take a step back. We were just going 100 miles an hour, right, with all this great information at once, which was phenomenal, by the way. But I want you to think about, it's going to be June on Monday, and it's Annuity Awareness Month. And I want you to move the needle on the annuity side, right? If you've been focusing on life, or like I said, you're an annuity veteran, how can you double your income, double sales, get the word out, share your story to 2 to 3 times the amount of people, okay? You need to know how to get the word out. You need to know what marketing works best? What's going to have the largest impact? What's going to have a client reaction where people say, you know what, Bill, I want to hear more. Tell me about long-term care hybrids or income riders or how I can make up to 32% in a year, whatever it is. Okay, how do I do that as an agent? So the first thing I want to do, if we can go to the next slide, is talk about the top selling products and carriers, right, of the year so far. Year to date, we're about halfway through. As you can see, first foremost, Equitrust, top income and accumulation FIAs and guaranteed long-term care benefits. Lincoln Financial, A+ rated, and again, top accumulation FIA and MIGAs. On the bottom, SILAC, the brand new 5-year FIA and guaranteed income product, aggressive caps, par rates, and accumulation. So that's number 1, 2, and 3 for us here at Levinson with our 23,000 agents. Yes, we have over 23 direct companies, but this is literally where up to about 40 to 50% of the products are coming from right here in front of you today. Okay, so jot that down, take a picture, whatever you got to do to remember it. What I want to do now is move forward, and what we did is through our survey with our marketers and our agents is we said, hey, what's the most popular question that comes up from annuity agents? They want to be able to track their business, right? For rollovers, new business opportunities, annual reviews, maybe to open the LTC conversation, whatever it is. So what we did is we wanted to show a quick screenshot of our scorecard. This is free for all of you, updated in real-time fashion. You can run reporting from here, downline information. If you have agents writing annuities, everything is at your fingertips 24/7, anywhere in the world. Okay, and this is what it looks like. If you're not set up today, just let us know. We'll get you set up. And again, it's 100% complimentary, but a great way, right, to get in a year later, 2 years later, check out what your business scorecard looks like, and then you can gauge this against other annuity agents to say, hey, what's the average turnaround time, or what products and carriers are written most, okay, which I just shared on the last slide, but a great tool to have, and a lot of you aren't aware, so I wanted to share that. The next slide is another great way to open doors. It's a napkin annuity presentation by Charles Samuel. So what we're going to do is we had a few trainings with him already live. We're going to include this in our thank you email, but what I also wanted to point out, remember, June is not only the awareness month, which I said probably 100 times already, but it's also, and I said this earlier, but it's 4 weeks of annuity blitz, marketing, sales ideas, conversation starters, social media pieces. We are putting our pedal to the metal to get the word out and help our agents in June as much as possible, okay, when it comes to annuities, period. We've never done anything like this before. So real fast, check out top right corner. We have Charles live in our conference room, and we're going to have a 1-hour meeting training with Charles, okay, with about 7 live agents here, and we're going to record it and then share it with you all, okay? That's on the 19th. Then we have a 1-hour podcast with myself, Carrie, and Charles, and we're going to pretend like we're life agents out there, and Charles is going to teach us how to sell annuities, how to move the needle in the annuity space. So it's going to be awesome. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Let's keep moving forward. What I want to do next is shift gears again. We have so many agents asking about leads, right? This is probably second. First was the scorecard. Second is leads, right? I want to be able to talk to more people. I know I have the gift to gab, and when I get on the phone with these clients, they're going to buy from me. Wonderful. How do I open doors? Great. We have a program. It's a co-op discounted deal where it's $685, 1,000 pieces. So it's a co-op discount, riding our 23,000 agents' coattails. Take advantage of this. About a 2% average rate of return. And the mailer is based on financial services questions and surveys for these consumers. It opens doors to the FIA sale, the IUL sale, works phenomenal. So I can't encourage you enough. Take advantage of this. The next slide here is opening doors on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, X, call it whatever you want, but you need to get your message out. And 2 things that come to mind when we talk about social media and our agents? Search and educate. Okay, very simple. And you say search, Bill, what do you mean? Okay, go to Facebook, go to LinkedIn, go into the search bar, type in MIGA, FIA, just type in fixed indexed annuity, and then it's going to ask you, do you want recent posts or top performing posts? I always put top performing posts. What is working for others out there? Okay, and the proof is in the pudding, because based on the number of likes and comments, you know, wow, this is working great. So I always say search and educate when it comes to social media. Search, you know what that means. Educate. Share some of these stories with these consumers on flyers, on posts. That's what the top performing posts are doing. They're educating the consumer, because most people have no idea what an FIA or MIGA even stands for, or that you can have an annuity with a long-term care feature and there's a hybrid option. Okay, they have no idea. Okay, and a lot of these are guaranteed issue. So anyway, educate, 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 and that's what you're looking at in front of you with these 3 top performing posts. The next slide here is our Bill Levinson Experience podcast training series. So these are 2 great episodes. I encourage you to jump in, check them out. On the left side, I pulled in one of the top annuity consultants, Coach Chris, on podcast 14. On the right-hand side, one of our younger agents who's crushing it. By the way, he was also at the expo and literally sold an annuity in the elevator, going from his room to the event. Okay, the guy's a beast. I sat down with him for an hour on episode 51. Check that out. And then don't forget, in a couple weeks, I'm sitting down with Charles in the conference room to pick his brain for an hour, and then we'll launch that one, I would say, mid to late June. Okay, so keep your eyes peeled for that. I'm almost done here, by the way, and we're going to have our giveaway. So like I said, June, we are crushing it in the annuity space. I call it 4-4-4, 4 trainings in 4 weeks with 4 different carriers. Everything in blue, these are the live trainings coming up in June and early July. And like I said, first time ever, we had so much attention and focus around annuities. So the top one real fast is Mary Reed on the 6th. Just under that, we have SILAC on the 12th. Just under that, we have the new American National Protection IUL series products. It's a brand new portfolio of IUL products rolling out this month on the 13th, so a doubleheader that week. We're pulling in Coach Chris again for a quarterly update review just on the hottest, latest, and greatest annuities on the 27th, and then we're going to wrap up on 7/11, July 11th. Don't forget that date. Why? That's our part 3 of the Annuity 101 training platform with your graduation certificate at another annuity professional designation to your business card and signature. That's a first ever in the brokerage space, and we own the platform. You can run with the platform, build your downline, educate yourself, get comfortable selling more annuities. Last slide here, question of the day. I know this was long, and my apologies, right? We ran long, but hopefully these nuggets were well worth the time spent with us. We'll start on the left side. It's all about being able to pivot, just like the doors in that picture, right, on the car in front of you. So embrace change, learn to pivot, and make resiliency your own superpower. It's all about being able to adapt, right? We all did it through COVID. We need to do it again. I look at life just like this. The ones that have a handle on this, right, they're pros when it comes to being able to pivot. Those are the ones that are always mastering and excelling in life on a personal level, on a business level, right? If you were stuck in 1985, right, you would still be selling whole life and IUL that would blow up, right, with no guarantees. You have to be able to pivot, right, and talk about the latest and greatest, and we're here to help you every step of the way. My final question point, whoever answers first wins Apple AirPods and our prospecting book. You got to be quick, get your little fingers on the keyboard. My question is, I spoke about our top 3 annuity carriers year to date of 2024. Tell me the names of our top 3 annuity carriers year to date. Tell me 3 names and you win Apple AirPods, prospecting book on us. You do have to be an active agent. So as long as you're appointed with at least one carrier, and you're an active agent with Levinson, you qualify. Okay, and by the way, if you're new, you haven't even gotten appointed yet, no problem. Okay, we'll put it to the side, and as soon as you're appointed, write your first app, we'll mail it out to you. No problem. Andrew's going to tell us who was first, who was quick, and who was accurate. Andrew, do we have a winner today?
We do. It's Kenneth S. Kenneth S. is in Sam.
Kenneth S., congratulations. Thank you again, everyone, for taking the time. The answer was Equitrust, Silac, Lincoln Financial. And I'm telling you right now, we've never been more focused and dedicated to the annuity side. So if you want to learn the ropes or you're a veteran, we're here to help every step of the way. Our promise to you is to continuously give you that top level service. 99% of the time, the 1% chance it doesn't go so well, let me or Carrie know. We'll do our best to turn it around. Let's have a great week, great weekend, great selling, and thank you again, everyone.